Cue fanboy mania. That's right. The Hulk is set to appear in Spiderman Brand New Day in an extensive role. Are you not excited? Yeah, I'm not either. But we're going to talk about it. Here we go. And with me today is the one, the only, the amazing, and Hulk fan him own self, probably could be the Hulk, Kevin Apollo. How's it going, Kevin?
Double C, how we doing, brother?
We're good. Yeah, I would take you right now over Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. Are you up for the job? I think you could.
I think I'd rather. Oh no, that's not true. I'll take Bella Ramsey over Mark Ruffalo at this point.
All right, fair enough. Oh man, at least that'll keep us from getting season 3 of The Last of Us 2. Wait, is that? What are we calling that? The last of season 3? Pretty much the show should already be the last of, because nobody was watching at the end. But that's not what we're talking about, Kevin. We're talking about this ridiculousness of the huge role of Hulk in Spider-Man Brand New Day. First of all, how would the Hulk even know Spider-Man?
Yeah, right. Everybody forgot. So listen. Even before we dive into that, what did everybody want from the next Spider-Man movie? Because I'm pretty sure it was unanimous. Street level problems.
Yeah, and no more girlfriend crazy.
Yeah. No more Zendaya.
Yeah.
No more. No more Avengers epilogue movie feeling.
Yeah.
And if they were going to get another hero, they wanted to be freaking Daredevil.
We don't need another hero. Okay, nobody's going to know that song. But look, we don't need Zendaya, right? We need a real proper MJ for a change. Lovely romance for sure. I'm guessing. Maybe. But set that aside from the real life. Let's focus on an actual Peter Parker. Let's focus on anything that doesn't involve Miles.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling that they're going to try to introduce Miles Morales, which is not Spider-Man. Miles Morales is Miles Morales, and I'm going to get some hate for that. But that's all right. Jordan Rumi's going to get some hate for this article. Not too excited about this particular film. Neither am I, especially with this new news. Big movie news, Memorial Day weekend, is the fact that Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is going to appear in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And he says, cue the fanboys. Losing their minds. Are you losing your mind?
I don't think anybody's losing their minds. We are in the apathy phase.
Man, I hate to think that you're right, but you're right. You're right. And you're also left. I think coming from both sides, I think a lot of people are done with Marvel. I think it's got little to offer anybody, and there's not going to be any more new. This cinematic universe really needed more Green Rage Monster showing up in somebody else's movie to awkwardly smirk through exposition dumps, which is what a lot of these have become. If you thought Mission Impossible 8 was bad, watch a new, more recent MCU film like Thunderbolts and be prepared to cry into your beer. Marvel's spinning a wheel of who hasn't hung out with Spider-Man yet. That's how they're figuring things out. You think that sounds like something that Kevin Feige would do, Kevin?
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him at this point. Listen, I get it. Spider-Man equals money, and when the superhero bubble finally pops, or we are willing to admit that it pops, Spider-Man will be one of the 4 who should be able to survive and carry on. Because to me, it'll be Batman, Spider-Man, Superman eventually, and depending on how badly they botch the X-Men. So the 4 that got us to the dance will be the 4 who survive the impending implosion. So throwing the Hulk on here, I don't know. It just kind of feels unnecessary, and we needed the Hulk in the Captain America movie. That was a Hulk movie that didn't have the Hulk in it. Like it tied up a bunch of Hulk subplots. And you didn't even have him so much as cameo. There's nothing. What's Peter going to go for therapy? But Bruce isn't a therapist, so unless we're going to dig up Ty Burrell and have him go be not Doc Samson, I just what's the point at this point? What is the point? What were we talking about throwing Chris Pratt in this movie at one point in time? That wasn't that one of the rumors?
I look, the fact that they're gonna maybe throw Chris Pratt back into the mix because he would basically be a better leader of any of the Avengers kinds of ideas than they have now, especially since Pedro Pascal is a failed experiment that Disney decided to run with. But I'm with Jordan on this one, saying let's not pretend that this is a bold new storytelling move. This is a glorified cameo. This is not a game-changing moment. It's not something that the audience was clamoring for. And as you pointed out, there are going to be 4 characters that are going to be the Avengers in the end, and they will be the only ones left that anybody will care about. The question is, was Hulk one of those? And I just don't think so, because that film did not hit very well. Even at the time, I think it was Eric Bana's Hulk, but I never thought that was any good. Ed Norton's Hulk was terrible. I didn't enjoy any of those Hulk films. And again, as you pointed out, Thunderbolt Ross's Red Hulk screwed all of the Hulk plot up that you would probably want to get wrapped up in the first place. So Jordan's sentiment is mine, and we're going to talk about some of the comments that are going to follow, because there really isn't much to this news other than it's going to happen. But the MCU is starting to feel like a group project where everybody keeps recycling the same 3 ideas and hoping the teacher doesn't notice. Yeah, I think everybody noticed. I think Jordan is right. Spoiler. We noticed. No, we're tired of this. I'm going to tell you, as much as I enjoyed No Way Home, I'm not looking forward to another Spider-Man movie. I don't see a purpose or a need for it. I do see a need for Spider-Man being able to, fall over into an Avengers movie, but I don't see any other reason for it. So, if you don't mind, Kevin, I want to take a look at some of these comments, right? And you're going to, of course, have shills and defenders involved here, but I want your perspective on some of these. So this Fangs person who responded recently says, really don't get the negativity here. This is the 9th Spider-Man movie. Are you guys expecting something unique and interesting? I was.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty unique and interesting that you can do with Spider-Man as a character. And in this modern interpretation, we have yet to actually get a Spider-Man movie. All 3 of his movies have been epilogues to an Avengers movie. He was either Iron Man's sidekick, or Nick Fury's sidekick, or Doctor Strange's sidekick. And then to help it feel a little less painful, we member buried you with other Spider-Mans. So now it's just time. The ending of the last movie promised you regular Parker Luck Spider-Man. I got to make it work on my own. I even thought we removed Aunt May off the table, so the May is in trouble trope is gone. This was their chance to give you a bold take on a college-aged Peter Parker out there on his own. And you took it away from us. As fast as you promised it, you pulled it away.
And that seems to be a regular trope here that we experience as fans. I mean, people obviously are looking at Jordan's article as a roast. You got George here, who says that Mark Ruffalo's brain's been completely and utterly destroyed by TDS. I don't know that you could argue that.
No, argue that.
Yeah, Fangs actually, clapped back on that. Nobody cares to that, which I don't think that's true. I think that's the problem. Interesting comment coming from a guy who parrots everything Trump says. This is weird. Donald Trump says Joe Biden has stage 9 cancer during press briefing. I think it's very sad, actually. Well, no, he was speaking about the the Gleason level for the PSA test. I think he just got caught up in the lingo, and the
Yeah.
fact that this person doesn't understand that this Neely O'Hara person says a lot more about him. Um, yeah, we've got Daydu saying, Daydu what? Daydu, I thought Ruffalo was working on his Idols biopic. Senwar's Underground Evil. Don't know. The Incredible Hulk, Ed Norton's version, which dude, Tank, I really wish I could agree with you. It wasn't a great movie. It's sad they didn't keep that version. They turned the Hulk into a clown, but they also turned Thor into a clown, right, Kevin?
Yeah, they did. They did. It's funny. One of my best friends loves Thor. Loves Thor. And he was one of the only people out there banging the drum about his hatred of Thor Ragnarok. Because Thor is a serious character, and they clowned him. And in some, there are times where I understand, especially with where they took the MCU, you needed to you needed to contrast how serious everything was. That was like you need a direct contrast from Thor to Loki and Odin, and the easiest way to do it was to make Thor a little more humorous. So I get it, because you wanted to kind of blunt the brash arrogance of the character, but you turned him into a clown. Oh, so I think they did worse to the Hulk. They turned the Hulk into a soy boy. Professor Hulk was one of my favorite interpretations of the Hulk. Peter David, may he rest. That his run on the Hulk was some of the greatest. Hulk storytelling ever. And when he merged the Hulks and gave us Smart Hulk was cool. Smart Hulk was the superhero Hulk. He, quick quips, cool costumes, awesome covers. And had no problem, being a little self-effacing with the character, up to and including some of the usual Hulk tropes. Like, one of my favorite things was in the Revenge of the Sinister Six crossover, Hulk somehow winds up getting beat up by Doc Ock's adamantium arms, and when he wakes up, the cops are like, "Hey, Hulk, what happened?" And he goes, "Don't worry about it, gentlemen. Inevitably, Hulk will smash." And then he jumps off and takes off, and eventually beats up Doc Ock. So it's like, but we didn't get that. We got a sweater wearing, yoga doing, vegan Hulk that no one was interested in seeing. So what is that Hulk gonna do with Spider-Man? Like, how do you get a cool Hulk fight? Like, fine, yes, you know what? Seeing a Spider-Man versus Hulk fight, that'd be cool. We're not gonna get that. How do you get it? Right? Because he's not cool Hulk smash Spider-Man Hulk. He's, I want a soy latte. I'm gonna hang out with Pedro Pascal Hulk. I'll even take it back. What I would have been interested in seeing, and this is if John Watts had made the Fantastic Four, I wanted to see Spider-Man be the vehicle to introduce the Fantastic Four to the MCU, because the Fantastic Four Spider-Man dynamic is integral to the history of Marvel proper, right? Like, they go all the way back to his first issue. He is the unofficial fifth member. It's like that's Marvel's first family with their biggest property, and it would have been cool to see that play out in the movies. And we didn't get it. We're never going to get it. And so it's really hard to drum up the enthusiasm for this. I just, apathy aside, like, I'm just talking about just going to see a cool movie. Where they have left the Hulk, what is cool that you can do with him and Spider-Man?
Yeah, I really can't answer that question. I mean, obviously they've crossed paths before, and they had many times in the comic books. I don't see it, especially not this iteration of the Hulk, who is very, which is weird for a Professor Hulk to be the feeble-minded Professor Hulk that's also a weakling. I mean, they really soyed it up with Ruffalo, as you stated. But look, this is the last one we'll do. Troop NN says Spider-Man is by far the most popular Marvel character. There's no doubt about it. It's the face of Marvel Comics for a long time. It was the nameplate face on any comic for a long, long time. He doesn't need any box office help, so it's pointless to put Hulk with him. And all the novelty of adding the Hulk would be all it would be. I don't think they could make anything of substance, especially with the New Day storyline that they're going to try to tell. And Sleepy Time follows up with people will always go for Spidey and Batman because they're the nameplate characters for the comics. They are. There's a reason for DC being synonymous with Batman. There's a reason for Marvel being synonymous with Spiderman. Okay? Every other superhero needs to draw people in. This comic could not be more right. And we're just at that point now, I think, where we've told all the easy stories to tell for both these comic franchises, right? And now you have to be more nuanced, actually creative, and a lot more capable at adaptations in order to tell the rest of them. You know, you can't tell a good Vulture story, right, as a bad guy. You can't tell that story now because you don't have the writers and the creatives capable of doing that. This idea that they were going to do Clayface, you can't do that. I mean, they're going to try, but it's not going to be done well. And this is the idea, right? The last thing I saw that was done well wasn't Marvel. It was DC over at Warner Brothers in their cable area called Penguin. That's the last good writing and use of character that I've seen. Marvel can't find it. Maybe a Spiderman writer can, but I don't have high hopes. And I don't have high hopes for this next New Day idea because it's New Day in name only. And we've actually done it, Kevin. And I want your thoughts on this before we wrap up. We have now Spider-Man in name only. We now have Batman in name only. Because I'm not just going to keep this in Marvel or anything else. I'm going to put it across the board. We have Terminator in name only. You know, we have Running Man coming up, a new version of Running Man coming up in name only. These aren't even going to be strict adaptations from screenplay to screenplay. They're going to go wildly outside of it. Now, mind you, with Running Man, there was a book that they went wildly outside of to begin with. But I'm looking at it as the popular thing is being utilized just for its nameplate. I'm sure you can think of other examples, but do you think we ever pull out of this nosedive as far as the adaptations go?
Oh, man. I think, unfortunately, it's going to take a little bit. I don't think it happens until... but I don't think we're that far away from what I'm about to say either, though. I don't think it happens until the normies realize what they're being fed. Because people like these characters. They want to, it's, people want to be entertained. They want to be taken on a spectacle of a ride. And when you have characters as old as Batman, as old as Spider-Man, when you have characters that made such a pop culture impact, like the Terminator or even the Predator, people have certain expectations. And they know when their expectations aren't being met. They know when they're getting something that's watered down. So now it's just going to turn into, will the general public go, I'm going to be a little more discerning with my money before I go see this. It's no longer a, oh, there's this new Spider-Man movie coming in, I'm going to go run to it. I think it's turning into, let me see what's going on with this Spider-Man movie before I go to invest some money. So I think once the public starts doing that, and it gets a little harder to cross the $200 million mark, and chasing the $500 million mark actually becomes something of a challenge again, versus the unearned box office results that these studios have become accustomed to, because people were just going because it was the thing to do. Maybe you take a step back and realize that it needs to really be quality over quantity. Because the answer with these movies isn't bigger is better. It's smaller. It's smaller, it's nuanced, it's more creative, and character driven is better. And I don't know if we have the talent pool to get there, but they're gonna have to find it, and they're gonna have to find it pretty quick because again, it's kind of over. You're think about it like this: if we said the Hulk was going to be in another character's movie 6 years ago, the internet would have been on fire. People would have been, they probably would have been dancing in the street,
Yeah.
and better than what Mick Jagger gave us. But now it's like, who cares? I think that article hit it right in the head. It's like, who cares?
Who cares? And look, this, I hate being at that place in history, Kevin, and I hate to think of it this way. We went from FOMO, fear of missing out, to FAFO. And we did it in a heartbeat because they bailed out of the things that made the fans satisfied, for all of these gender politics and other garbage that they inserted into it. And that's why we're where we are, and that's why we don't seem to care about Spider-Man Brand New Day and the Super Hulk cameo. Anyway, I'm going to let the audience have the final thoughts on this one. Let us know. Do you think that maybe Spider-Man Brand New Day would be better off without the Hulk? Do you think this is a positive piece of news? Are you going to go see this Spider-Man movie because the Hulk's going to be in it? I just don't imagine anybody will. But let us know those thoughts and others, whatever you think of, down in the comments section below. And as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, stay away from bad Marvel.